Have you ever wondered what really separates a casual gardening tip from truly professional horticultural advice? It's not just about knowing a bunch of plants. It's about a whole different mindset. Today, we're going to dig into the 5 foundational principles that build that professional expertise from the ground up. And that's the big question, isn't it? The difference isn't just about having more facts in your head. It's about having a systematic approach, a process that builds genuine trust and, actually delivers results. That's what we're breaking down right now. So where do we even begin? Well, it all starts with building that solid foundation of trust. You see, being a real pro, it's not some kind of magic trick. It's something you build piece by piece on a few non-negotiable principles. In fact, your entire success hinges on mastering 5 of them, right from day one. They are the absolute bedrock for every professional interaction you'll have. Okay, rule number 1. And honestly, this is the big one. You have to know the plant, inside and out. And I mean way beyond just knowing its name. So we're talking about understanding a plant's entire life story, its growth habits, the conditions it absolutely needs to thrive, its basic biology. Without this baseline knowledge, any advice you give is just built on shaky ground. And this quote right here just nails it. A guess doesn't just fail. It can kill a plant, damage someone's property, and poof, there goes your credibility. So the bottom line is simple. Identification first, then advice. All right, that brings us to rule number 2, and it builds right on the first one. A plant doesn't exist in a little bubble. It lives in a very specific place, and you've got to know that environment like the back of your hand. This is all about the local context. I mean, think about it. A beautiful rhododendron that's loving life in acidic soil will have its leaves turn this ugly, sickly yellow if you plant it in the alkaline clay just a few miles down the road. Understanding the local soil, its texture, drainage, its pH, that's the essential filter you have to run every single piece of advice through. And this is such a critical point. You can know everything there is to know about a plant, but if you don't know the ground it's going into, your perfect advice is going to be a total flop in the real world. Context is everything. Okay, on to rule number 3. So plants have enemies, right? Pests, diseases, and a pro needs to know how to identify and deal with them, not just effectively, but responsibly. Now, what's cool about this is the clear line it draws. A pro understands when to act, and just as important, when not to. They work off treatment thresholds, which just means the problem has to be bad enough to actually justify doing something. They think about the whole environment, while the reckless approach is just chucking chemicals at a problem, which, often just makes things worse. And this quote ties it all together perfectly. It's not just about killing a bug. It's about being a smart, ethical problem solver who actually thinks about the consequences of what they recommend. Let's shift gears a little. The first 3 rules, they were all about the technical stuff. Plants, soil, pests. But rule number 4, this one's all about people. Because you can be the smartest person in the room, but if you can't understand your client's actual problem, all that knowledge is basically useless. And this isn't just about having a friendly chat. It's a real process. It starts with listening. I mean, really listening. Then you ask those smart, clarifying questions to dig deeper and deeper until, boom, you figured out the real issue. And hey, check out that last step. Knowing when you're in over your head and need to ask for help, that's the sign of a true professional. And that's the trap, isn't it? A client might tell you about a symptom, but your job is to be a detective, to use communication to diagnose the root cause. Solving the wrong problem is a waste of everybody's time and money. All right, this brings us to our 5th and final principle. The last piece of the puzzle, so you've identified the plant, you get the site, you know the enemy, and you've listened to the client to find the real problem. Now you have to put it all together and actually deliver the solution. And a professional solution is never just a product name. It's a complete package. You need to weigh the options, explain exactly how to implement the plan, and, this part's huge, manage expectations by being clear about the likely outcomes. You see how it all comes full circle? Communication was key for diagnosing the problem, and it's just as critical for delivering the solution. Your brilliant plan is only as good as your ability to clearly explain it to the person who has to actually do it. So, let's pull all of this together and see the big picture. It's really tempting to look at these 5 principles as just a checklist, but that's missing the point. They are an interconnected system. Each one works with the others, like gears in a machine, creating a complete framework that ensures your advice is accurate, relevant, responsible, and that it actually works. And this table here, it just lays it all out perfectly. Know the plant is for accuracy. Know the ground makes it relevant to the real world. Know the enemy ensures you're being responsible. Know the client makes sure you're solving the right problem. And know the solution guarantees it can actually get done right. It's a roadmap from guessing to being trusted. So that's the real question to leave you with. You have the foundation now, the professional's playbook. The next step is turning these principles into habits, putting them into practice every single day. That's how you build real expertise and earn that all-important trust.